so you're getting some good compliments there. Of course, they're not complimenting me. There's another discussion. Okay, so my favorite Ramona story is, so you hear Donnie Brasco is going on, and you have some pictures in your hand, and you show up to the set and demand to speak to Al Pacino.
Well, what it was, like I said, we had gotten the script beforehand of the movie.
Yeah.
So it was burning in my head. What am I going to do? What I'm going to do? Because I was always about, honoring those you love. And my grandfather was my biggest influence in my life.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't go down not fighting. So I just want to try to just make my point. And that, again, later on, that was one of the main point of doing Mob Wives. But with this certain situation, I was like, all right, how am I? Because you getting nuts all the time. Saying I'm related to this one, I'm related to that one. I had, just in case he asked, I had my letters and I had my photos.
Wow.
And then, sometimes people say there is a slight resemblance, whatnot, but still, there's people popping up every day saying I'm so-and-so's kid, Michael Jackson's kid, with all wackos. I'm not a wacko, but I wanted to prove it. Yeah. So at that time, I worked for a telecommunications company in Midtown. Nice. And me and my sister. And I was already in the city, and where they were filming it was in my old neighborhood, Knickerbocker, where I grew up. Oh, so wow. Even though I'm not back there, I know the area very well. And if I needed anybody, I still have family over there.
Love it.
So, but I didn't tell anybody I was going. So we got there super early. The place is like a ghost town. We go eat, the diner, whatever. Now, mind you, I found out later on he got word because he was actually there, Pistone, undercover.
Oh, wow.
So he found out that I was there. And that's like another thing, Tom, not to get off subject, but you're 105. Half the people on this case is dead. Get over it. With the urine protection. Like, if Sammy could walk around and this one could be, who wants you? Stop. Like, that whole thing from my grandfather's era is gone. Like, let that die. But again, it's part of his schlick. You know what I mean? It's part of his whole, like, his money-making machine. So anyway, I finally find out where Pacino's trailer is. I waited and I waited. There's this big bodyguard. And I think the bodyguard ended up knowing I was there too, or he knew somebody was in my family, so he knew me.
Yeah.
So I asked, Johnny Depp, oh my God, like a rail. He looked like a very skinny guy to see him up front. Yeah. Remember the hottest thing, like a toothpick.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I was like taken back with that one. And then here comes Pacino. Look at a tiny little guy too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, they're going, so here's my chance. It's me and my sister. We're going into the trailer. He's going into the trailer. I'm like, Mr. Pacino, I need to talk to you. He's like, I'm like, about my grandfather, Lefty Guns.
Whoa.
So he goes, all right. The guy goes, give me 5 minutes. So he comes, 5 minutes up, the door opens. He told me to come in. If I tell you a gentleman with every aspect of the word
God
gentleman.
Bless. God bless.
We actually talked for a really, really long time. And honestly, I was the one who cut it off because what more could we really say? You know what I mean? He wasn't like, nah, I got to go. I have to go back to work. And what I found out later on was when he gets into character, he likes to know everything from, and then he stays in the character, even when he's in his trailer and whatnot. That's what they say his mindset is. Yeah. So I guess, in a sense, maybe by speaking to me, it also might have helped him. So he was keeping me there. We were both chatting, and I guess it was probably beneficial for him in some way. And he was the one who brought to light to me, because again, I wasn't on TV. I was just knowing from, what was going on with my grandfather, this is going to be a movie, nothing. I wasn't in that world yet. So I didn't know the ins and outs. And he explained to me, he said, listen, your grandfather's character is based upon everybody around him. Okay. He's like, it's not just your grandfather. And I guess maybe that's where they got per se, the clothing, because, the wardrobe stylist was seeing pictures of this guy, that guy, because again, Tom, not to toot the horn, but the man was immaculate. The way that he dressed on point, the best shirts, the best of everything, and it wasn't even up to him. It was what my grandmother did. It's what my mother had, this is just what it was. So this is what his wardrobe consists of. And then he told me that he explained to me once that they bought the book, they had the right to do anything. Now, mind you, I was like 20-something, 22. I didn't know all this. So by me meeting with him, it educated me in that department and it made me feel better. And he explained to me, like, listen, this is Hollywood. You're a fan. You watch movies. And he kind of like broke it down to me. But if I tell you polite, such a gentleman, such a nice guy, And it made that so much easier. My sister, who's supposed to be the rock, the tough girl, she starts crying. I'm like, what are you crying? We got no time for this. Come on, I have to prove who I am, and that's it. But he didn't care. And he says, listen, I said, he goes, is there anything you want me to do? I said, listen, I already had my lawyers. At that time, I worked for they're one of the top lawyers, Duker and Barrett. They did Michael Milton. They did FTC, Coca-Cola. I was in with them. So I'm saying, so these are people that were going to play no joke. I said, listen, I already got that part taken out. I said, you're already doing your job. I have nothing I could say bad about you. You're a great actor. You're getting paid to do this. I don't have any issues with you. I says, but when it comes to my grandfather, if you can, when it comes to anything with his family, I don't know if they're going to change. I don't know what they're going to do. He loved us so passionately. Just play that part. And that, when it comes to that part in the role with all your heart.
Just do it correctly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So more than that, I guess I gave him some insight of who he truly was. Like, again, whatever a man does out in the street, unless, it's nothing to bring home. It's nothing I ask questions about, but who he was, at home, that's what I just wanted to let him know about. But if I tell you so respectful, so nice, it was a great ending to something that was bad.
What scale 1 to 10? How do you give him on how well he did at emulating your grandfather?
Well, that's the whole thing. As far as emulating, it's not Pacino's fault, because at the end of the day, they made him like he was kind of